Very good afternoon to all, and thank you so much for joining us today on E-Juris Day. The theme for E-Juris Day is Human Rights Violation of Children and Special Enactments. I, Jayashree Mehta, Assistant Professor Law, take this opportunity to welcome you all on behalf of Geeta Rattan International Business School on this virtual platform on the occasion of Juris Day, themed Human Rights Violation of Children and Special Enactments in interaction with Professor Dr. Devendra Singh, Department of Law, Punjab University, Chandigarh. Geeta Rattan International Business School was established in the year 2004. GIBS is affiliated with Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi. Center for Legal Studies. GIBS conduct law courses, that is BBA LLB and BA LLB, approved by Bar Council of India (BCI), and management courses by All India Council for Technical Education, Ministry of HRD and Government of India. The institute is accredited as Category A by National Assessment and Accreditation Council and assessed as Category A+ by the State Fee Regulatory Committee and rated highest grading A by Joint Inspection Committee of Government of Institute of Delhi and GPSIPL. The institution has been rated grade A by Academic Audit Cell of GPSIPL consecutively for past 7 years. GIBS has also been rated number 2 twice consecutively by Times B School Survey 2019 and 20. The COVID-19 pandemic is creating significant health, social, economic, and legal challenges worldwide, forcing institutes and universities to shut their physical activities. We at Center of Legal Studies, GIBS, understand that navigating the pace of change, dealing with immediate issues, can only develop through taking regular insights of the problem with the opinion of experts. While ensuring the current situation, we have gathered on this virtual platform for having a conversation on Juris Day. As we all know, that the children constitute the most vulnerable section of society in India. The socio-economic conditions are mainly responsible for the violation of children's rights in different forms. The practice of child protection has undergone a significant change when seen from a historical perspective in India. The Indian Constitution accords the right to children as a citizen of the country. The Constitution encompasses most of the rights of the children included in UN Convention on Right of the Child under the heading Fundamental Rights and Directive Principle of State Policy. India has made significant commitments toward ensuring the basic rights of children. The legislative framework for children's rights is being strengthened with formulation of new laws and amendments to existing law. The objective of this workshop is to sensitize students about developing violation of children's rights and to analyze the effectiveness of present legislation. In its perpetual pursuit to deliver existential learning and offer global exposure to legal fraternity, CIS GIBS is very delighted to organize this Juris Day on human rights violation of children and special enactments. And to discuss on this topic, we have with us a very special guest, Professor Dr. Devendra Singh, Department of Law, Punjab University, Chandigarh. Sir is also Secretary to Vice Chancellor, Punjab University, and is Dean Faculty of Law, Punjab Technical University, Jalandhar. Coordinator, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Center, Punjab University, Chandigarh. Other than these administrative responsibilities, Sir also has vast teaching experience. Sir has also authored and edited several books. Naming a few are on topics of human rights of women, administrative law, and human rights of children. Sir, we welcome you wholeheartedly. Now I would request you to please take the session forward and illuminate us with your expertise.
Thank you very much, madam, and the Institute Geeta Rattan International Business School, Dr. Anshu Dhiman, through which I got the invitation, and the madam who spoke good words about me. I am really thankful from the core of my heart to give me an opportunity to interact with the students of BBA LLB, BA LLB, and the colleagues in the Geeta Rattan Institute of Law, Rohini, Delhi. The area which has been given to me for interaction today is very dear to me for more than one reason. When I joined law, I started working on this area, wrote some research articles on this, and subsequently got a project from the UGC, University Grants Commission, to work on the rights of the child vis-a-vis child labor, child education, etc. Worked on this for 2-3 years and then got a publication for this also, which is in front of me, and I got it published. Therefore, when offer was given to me that you will speak on the rights of child, then without taking a second, I said, yes, I will be speaking on the rights of child. As a student, I studied this topic. As a teacher, I researched this topic. And as an author, I have written a book, so long experience. As the topic has been introduced to you by your teacher, and a concept note has been provided to me, I hope it has been shared with the students. Need not to say that if we're talking about the society, we need to talk about the children first. Children are the most vulnerable group in the society. They have basic human rights. If we have all duties towards them, then their rights are to be completed first, accomplished first, or completed first. It is the children who will be given the opportunity to grow first, to become a civilian, complete civilian, who will look after the society, the family, their self, nation, humanity, and the globe subsequently. But presently, neither they have resources, nor they have capacity to understand, and many things. That is what we understand about the children, and a sociological scientist or psychologist or a medicinal doctor will define the needs of the children as such. From the legal angle, we understand that we have a duty to perform. Society has a duty to perform. Nation has a duty to perform towards these children as they are vulnerable. They have human rights. They have natural rights. They have rights under the UNO conventions. They have rights under the Constitution of India. And subsequently, there are legislations to fulfill the aspirations of the nation. That children should be protected today, should feel safe today and tomorrow. Tomorrow, when the nation goes into their hands, then we should feel safe under them. The nation should feel safe. So this is the importance of the children in the society, because they can't ask. If we speak legally, then so many people can go to Jantar Mantar, so many people can go to this parliament. They can gherav many people for their rights. Nowadays, a farmer lobby is on the roads. Children can't do this. Children neither collectively do this, nor they are capable in the position to bargain. But they are exposed to all problems of the society. Whether they are at home, they are at the society level, they are on roads, on the bus stands, on the canteens, on the dhabas, eateries, everywhere they are exposed to the society as the adults are. And once they are being exposed as such, who takes care of their rights? They have minimum needs. People employ them. People prefer them employing. Therefore, understanding this, my dear students, our preference need to be children itself. When we start talking about protection of rights, then rights should be protected first of the children and then others, because others has seen the world and subsequently they have certain problems. to which they are contributors, but children has not seen anything. If children has not seen anything, they have not contributed to the problems of family, society, nation, humanity, and they are suffering because the environment is not clean. Society is prejudice, and they're suffering, and they have no contribution towards that. Therefore, we need to talk about the safer words toward the children, and they need care, protection, and everything from the society, from the family, from the adults, and from the civilians. They need this. Therefore, let us see few things which has been talked about their protection and how they have been implemented, and where actually we have faltered, and where actually it lies the solution. We'll try to discuss some of the problems which has been addressed through the legislations which we have studying, and those legislations has taken care of few children, but it cannot take the bull by horn. It cannot solve the problem. Problem exists. Around 5 crore children were out of schools, out of families at the time of independence, and their number is still more. No doubt we have grown in population, but children's number is same as we see at the time of constitution and this. I am not taking into consideration the conflict zones, the international conflicts, and so on and so forth, because they are the specific problems, but we will see that how day-to-day problems of the children has been dealt by the system, the governance system which we have. When we started with the constitution, journey of the constitution, for which we have completed now the 70 years, then we said in the constitution, the directive principle of the state policy, that we can have right to education to the children within 10 years of the republic. So framer of the constitution thought that the nation at its worth 1950, republic at its worth 1950, do not have the resources. It lacks the inner resources. So within 10 years, nation has a lot of resources, and then children shall be given education free of cost, 6 years to 14 years. Up to 6 years, they will be given time in the families, and at the age of 6, they will start education. Up to 14, they will be taken care of. Child policy and education policy, which have been taken in the 60s, specifically 1968 education policy was taken. It talked about adult education. अगर माँ पढ़ी लिखी होगी, फादर पढ़ा लिखा होगा, तो बच्चे भी पढ़ जाएंगे. Meaning thereby that we do not have the courage and guts to talk about the elimination of illiteracy among the children, because we thought that the problem is voluminous and they are nobody in the governance of the country. Neither they are voters, nor they are contributing anything to the economy. Therefore, let them at large. Problem was addressed indirectly. And subsequent education policy 1986 and 1993, when it was revisited, it talked about new thing, that in India we have around 40 crore families, and there are around 5-6 crore children who are outside the schools. So if each family teach one child, then problem shall be solved. So it was like a family responsibility. It was a social responsibility of the families, that if you are economically well established family, then you take a home, a child, you adopt a child for education purpose only, and meaning thereby the child labor which was in existence at that time also, it was legalized. It was legalized that bring a child to the home and send him to the school for 3-4 hours, evening schools or morning schools, and to the government school only, not to the private school. So there is no compulsion that the child will stay for the whole day and all that, and going to the school for the whole of the year. So for some time, child goes to the school, and child has been taken for the purpose of education by the family, but staying with the family also, and staying with the family has been resulted in the domestic help. We all understand, as a student, as an adult, as civilian, we understand that if we talk about many needs of the child has many needs with the growing age and with the bright future. He has lots of hopes. He has lots of needs. He need to be given a lot of facilities. He need to be facilitated. But he or she, the child, needs to be in the family environment. Right to family needs to be the first right. This is something natural. If there is a child should grow up in the family environment. Family environment which is protective for the child, which is not prejudice for the growth of child. The environment of the family is such where child is growing. It favors the child. This is the first right to the child. But education policy, the family, and the child, you mix up these three: child labor regularized, children staying at home with safety, with full sanctity of law, and it resulted in domestic help. It resulted that the number of children in the family increased. Number of children in the dhabas, eateries, elsewhere, wherever there is a eating material available, it increased. What is the result of that? A result of that now our own children who are our biological children, nowadays they are also unhappy. And in the COVID period through which we have been going on, don't take it otherwise, because we are all in that age group, the children are not very happy with staying with the parents for 24 hours, because they have been looked after by the parents 24 hours. What they are doing, what they are eating, what they are wearing, what their routines are. So they have been taken care of by the parents. So no doubt this is the best of the time when you are staying with, but the amount of privacy which you have developed, even at your teenage or beyond this, in the early college life, you don't like that every time your elder sister, elder brother, father or mother is always interfering what you have been doing, what you have been wearing, or what you have been eating within the home. So this is the environment, this is the freedom, this is the privacy which we expect from our own parents, but they do not give us this much freedom. Now consider, when a child is staying with the family who has no biological relation with that family, now that child is being exposed to all dangers, the hazardous work, because the child will get up first in the morning, will serve the family, and will sleep in the end, because now the whole family is sleeping, working, exposed to sexual exploitation and everything what you can think that can happen to that child. गुस्सा तो अपने बच्चे पे होगा, लेकिन मदर के डर से फादर नहीं मार सकते बच्चे को, फादर के डर से मदर नहीं मार सकते. So who would be the easy thing? Who would be the easy target? Easy target would be that innocent child who has nobody to look after, and if somebody is there, then they are also not capable of taking a fight with the family, taking an argument with the family. Otherwise they will be thrown out. Seen this plight, and ultimately when metro cities reached this problem from smaller towns to the bigger towns, and problem has been highlighted by the private media channels, which we accuse for many things, but at times they do some good things also. then children who are exposed to crimes within the family, to hazardous things, to labor, and many things. Cruelty at the hands of the elders in the family who has no biological relation. Why the child is staying in the family? Because the education policy says teach one. You are capable, you have financial resources, so teach one. Teach one. He has been registered in the school, so nothing wrong. Nothing wrong legally, morally wrong, but legally nothing wrong. Then it has been noticed by everyone, and then it was noticed that there's a lot of cruelty, including sexual crime against the children. And moreover, if the child is serving in the family and the family has similar age children living with this child labor and domestic help, then understand what would be the psyche of the child. Psyche of the child would be slavery, my dear friends. Slavery means the child labor and domestic help will learn one thing, that I have a permanent boss in the family, and that is the growing child of the same age. They are in the name of friends, they are in the name of brothers, but there would be a gap like this, that yes, I have a boss to serve remaining of my life. So slavery revived. Fortunately, in 2005, the amendment came, and the schedule which was there to the Child Labor Act 1986, which was a faulty act actually. The time which was at time it was enacted, it was a faulty act. Faulty act, I say. 1986 we made a law, prevention and regulation of the child labor, meaning thereby we are preventing child labor, but at the same time we are regularizing the child labor. So it is not eradication of the problem, it is regularizing, meaning thereby we are subsisting. What is this? So there is a schedule in that act that some of the industries, factories and workplaces are to be declared as hazardous to the growth of child. So in that act, the ministry added few things like domestic help, child labor within a family environment, that was declared an offense. In roadside dhabas and eateries, problem was more there, because we understand during our travel times when we go on picnic with families or something like this, we stand and park our bus or car or matador outside the dhaba, but we find that there is a large number of people visiting that dhaba with good clientage, but small people are serving there. And when you just have a peep into their kitchens or beyond the dining halls, you see their utensils are large. They are cooking 20 kg of dal and alus at the same time. Who are handling them? Child labor is handling them. Therefore, in such eateries, dhabas, sweet shops, restaurants, hotels, everywhere, this was declared hazardous. So they are serving now. Till date, they are serving at such places. But at least the governance, the law, and the system which we have has cleaned our hands that this is illegal. Children are still working. Therefore, the education policy, the act, we have number of acts. Your concept note has also mentioned the acts, shipyard acts, dockyard acts. Every act says not beyond 15. Most of the act says 14. Not beyond 15. Protection is required for a child. Why not? If universal age for the minority is 18 years, then 40 age for this work, child labor, dockyard, shipyard, and many things has been kept. that is 15 years. It is prohibited up to the age of 14 at the workplace, and beyond 14 it is regulated. Regulated means child will work for 2 hours, then get a rest, and another 2 hours, then get a rest. Not beyond 6 hours child works. But in real life, we are exposed to different type of life at our metropolitan cities, in small towns. We are exposed everywhere. If we go to a stationery shop on morning at 9 o'clock, if there is a child serving, if we go at 5 serving, and at times we are late to go to some shop for purchasing Maggie or milk or something like this, because at such places that is not being prohibited legally for the law, for the purpose of offense. Child is still serving. Who is taking care? The child will take rest after every 2 hours. It is regulated like that. It is the need with the child. It's a requirement with the childhood. So childhood grows. Can childhood grow in such an environment? Now, a little bit of education policy, a little bit of prevention and regulation of this Child Labor Act. You see, we have a faulty approach, my dear friends. Constitution framer envisioned 10 years for the education. We started this deliberation in the year 1996. 46 years later, when in MC Mehta versus State of Tamil Nadu, Supreme Court handed out a judgment and gave a formula on paper. Supreme Court gives judgment like this, so they have thought that it can happen. In this 1996 judgment, Supreme Court has given a formula that, okay, what are your measures to prevent the child labor? If child is found at a place which is hazardous for the growth of a child. एक child अगर फैक्ट्री में काम करता हुआ मिल जाएगा, then under the Act of 1986, penalty is 25,000. So penalty is 25,000. So 25,000 shall be deposited by the employer of child in a fund created in the name of Child Welfare Fund at the state level and at the national level too. Whenever there is an employer, then it would be a penalty for the employer of the child labor, 25,000, and in that fund, government will equally contribute. So that fund will grow up. That fund will grow up, and it will give a handle to the government that spend this fund only on the child education. So if this fund is being spent on elimination of illiteracy among children, then child labor would be automatically reduced at a large number. उसमें कोई मैथमेटिकल डिफरेंस, मैथमेटिकल कनेक्शन नहीं है कि अगर बच्चा काम पे नहीं जाएगा तो जरूर स्कूल ही जाएगा. लेकिन एमसी मेहता वर्सेस गवर्नमेंट ऑफ तमिलनाडु में 1990 सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऐसा सोचा गया that it can happen, it can be like this. Then government started deliberation. Now it is a direction by the Supreme Court, and government started deliberations that why not the free and compulsory education. Before that, in the year 1989, the Child Right Convention has also come, to which India was party, and it says that the children between the age of 6 and 14 shall be given free and compulsory education. We have started Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan in the year 1993. So we started providing compulsory education to children by holding evening classes in the same schools, in the private schools, or everywhere. It has started. So therefore World Bank has funded this project, Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. So we are getting money for that. So if we are getting money for this, government is money for that. Then we started spending on this, and then government started thinking that yes, we can provide free and compulsory education. So one of the education goal, one of the constitutional vision, constitutional goal for the children can be achieved. They shown a little bit of political determination in the year 2002, when Article 21A was incorporated in the Constitution, which said that the right to education is a fundamental right, but subject to the act of the parliament. Meaning thereby, in principle, this was recognized, right to education was recognized as a fundamental right, but at the same time, its implementation shall be done by the act of parliament. Meaning thereby, government has shown determination, going ahead 2 steps, but one step has been taken backward. Backward in the sense that constitutional amendment is done, but still a parliamentary act is required. In 2009, we have a legislation in the month of December, which says Right of the Children for Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009. Section 2 also says, and this act, it shall come into effect. We are law students, so we know all this. That constitutional amendment has recognized that this is fundamental right, but for next 7 years, the parliament legislation has not come. And when parliament legislation has come, then section 2 says, this act shall be implemented or shall come into force the date on which Government of India so decides. So मेरे जैसे जो स्टूडेंट थे रिसर्च कर रहे थे या उम्मीद कर रहे थे तो कि 7 साल तो एक्ट बनने में लग गए, and we may take another 7 years to implement, but nevertheless the required consent from the Government of India has come in January 2010 and act was implemented. I don't know what was the implication or what was the thing. Academic session for the school children starts from the 1st of April. So act was implemented from the 1st of April 2010. 1st of April is a Fool's Day. Act contains very good provisions that it is the duty of the parents to send the children to school. Very good. Penalty क्या लगेगी बोला ये नहीं बताएंगे. It is the duty of the teacher once the student is admitted in the school. So let him or her not to drop out from the school, because our problem is dropout. It is the duty of the principal and teachers not to allow the child to drop out. Very good provision. Child can be admitted at any time in the session. It can be April, it can be October, it can be December. Child can take migration certificate, transfer certificate at any time during the year. Very good. Because most of the children, the migrants, could not get education because when there is a harvesting season, they come to Punjab. When there is a festival season, they go to Delhi. So they are migratory workers. So therefore, they have nothing to do with the session. So government recognizes these realities and says no admission time, no transfer time, and no child can be retained at home. So every good thing has been given here. But the title of the act is Free and Compulsory Education to the Children. It says, child shall be given free education. Those who are in the higher classes and studied the interpretation of Statute Act will understand this better, that what type of drafting has been done in this. No fees shall be taken from the student, comma, full stop nahi, comma, which prevents the child from taking further education. इसके मायने आप समझ जाइए कि बच्चा अगर फीस देने स्कूल में ले आओ, फिर अगर वो फीस देने लायक हो जाएगा, then he'll start giving fees. So it is not stopping. So no fee shall be charged from the student if it stops him from taking further education. State said, we will not implement this. This is a child of center, government of India. So they will give us money only, then we will do this. Otherwise, we will not do this. This problem still exists because private school enroll the student and they expect the money from the government. Government से अगर 2 चिट्ठियां डाल दी कि आप हमारे पैसे दीजिए, because we have been enrolling the students for elementary education. हमने 100 बच्चा एनरोल कर लिया है, पिछले साल 100 था, वो 100 वो हो गया 200, अब हमारे पास जो 200 बच्चों के पैसे दीजिए हमें। दिल्ली पब्लिक स्कूल ने मानो कर लिए 200 बच्चे, कॉर्पोरेट सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के लिए कर लिए, क्योंकि वो तो ये है, बच्चे कर लिए। सरकार से बार बार पैसा मांगते हैं, पैसा दीजिए पैसा दीजिए। सरकार तीसरे दिन इंस्पेक्शन कमेटी भेज देती है, ये आपकी स्कूल की सीढ़ियां अलग हैं, इनको काढ़िए और अलग लगाइए। स्कूल की मैनेजमेंट कहती है हमें पैसे नहीं चाहिए, पर आप इंस्पेक्शन कमेटी मत भेजिए। How children will get the education? How they are getting this? Quality की तो मैं बात नहीं कर रहा हूं. What quality is this? Children shall not be held back in the same class. They will get the education. पर इसमें जो held back वाली clause लगाई, इस held back में सरकार को ज्यादा फायदा था, because we know up to standard 8 we have a failure rate. बच्चे फेल होते हैं, और किसी स्कूल का रिजल्ट बहुत अच्छा हो तो वो कहते हैं 100 में से 90 पास हो गए, बहुत अच्छा है, कल की छुट्टी। 10 बच्चे फिर भी फेल हैं, रिजल्ट बहुत अच्छा है। जहां रिजल्ट खराब है वहां तो सारे फेल हैं या आधे फेल हैं। सो गवर्नमेंट सेव्ड मनी, दैट चाइल्ड शुड स्पेंड ओनली 8 years in the school. So we enroll the child at 6, no holding back of the child in the same class, and at the age of 14 चाइल्ड गोज आउट। नाम वो अपना लिख सके ना लिख सके, टेबल उसको 9 का याद हो ना हो, ही कैन रीड राइट, दिस इज नॉट द कंसर्न। ये कौन देखेगा? ये स्कूल का प्रिंसिपल देखेगा, और स्कूल का प्रिंसिपल आइडेंटिफाई करेगा दैट दिस चाइल्ड हैज नॉट ग्रोन अप टू द 8th standard, ही डजंट लर्न, ही डिड नॉट रिस्पॉन्ड एज ए चाइल्ड ऑफ 8th standard। तो एक्सप्लेनेशन होगी, किसकी होगी? उसी प्रिंसिपल की होगी कि ये चाइल्ड क्यों नहीं इतना ग्रो किया। प्रिंसिपल तो पहले ही लिख देता है कि ये चाइल्ड जो है बड़ा इंटेलिजेंट है, ये 8वीं की बजाय 9वीं स्टैंडर्ड के लायक है, क्योंकि अगर वो लिखेगा कि इसको 8वीं स्टैंडर्ड तक का नॉलेज नहीं है तो उसको बोलेंगे कि इसको एक्सप्लेन करो डिसिप्लिनरी एक्शन अंडर द सर्विस, दैट यू हैव एनरोल्ड द चाइल्ड, यू हैव रिटेन्ड द चाइल्ड, बट एट द सेम टाइम दैट चाइल्ड इज नॉट अप टू द स्टैंडर्ड, 8th standard। तो वो अपनी इंक्वायरी कराएगा कि सर्टिफिकेट देगा, सर्टिफिकेट इज बेटर। ये क्वालिटी की बात है। सारी एजुकेशन से रिलेटेड पॉलिसी टीचर्स ही बनाएंगे, बहुत अच्छी बात है, टीचर्स को ही बनानी चाहिए, टीचर्स को ही बनानी चाहिए, लेकिन टीचर्स कोई काम नहीं करेंगे। टीचर विल नॉट डू एनी वर्क बट कंसंट्रेट ऑन द मैनेजमेंट ऑफ स्कूल, ग्रोथ ऑफ चिल्ड्रन, प्रोफेशनल मैनेजमेंट ऑफ द स्कूल। 2 बजे छुट्टी हो जाती है तो रोज 1 घंटा बैठेंगे, 2 से 3 और बच्चों के बारे में सोचेंगे। बहुत अच्छी बात है। टीचर्स ऑफ द स्कूल विल नॉट परफॉर्म एनी ड्यूटी एक्सेप्ट ड्यूटीज ऑफ इलेक्शंस इन पार्लियामेंट, इन स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर, इन पंचायती राज, एंड इन ट्रबल्ड टाइम लाइक दिस कोविड टाइम, दिस इज नेचुरल डिजास्टर्स, एट द टाइम ऑफ डिजास्टर। तो जिस देश में 3 बार चुनाव होता है तो ऑन एन एवरेज 1.5 साल बाद तो चुनाव आ जाता है, हर 6 महीने बाद लिस्टें, इलेक्टोरल रोल्स अपडेट होती हैं। कौन करेगा? टीचर्स करेंगे। इलेक्शन कौन कराएगा? टीचर्स कराएंगे। और देश ऐसा है, इसमें कभी बाढ़ आ जाती है, कभी गर्मी ज्यादा पड़ जाती है। सो डिजास्टर के टाइम भी ड्यूटीज टीचर्स करेंगे और इलेक्शन ड्यूटी भी टीचर्स ही करेंगे। टाइम कब बचा? टाइम कब बचा? और जब मैंने प्रोजेक्ट किया तो है वेरी स्ट्रेंज एक्सपीरियंसेस वेयर प्रिंसिपल्स एंड हेडमास्टर्स शेयर्ड। कहते सर बच्चे तो आ गए, वो ठीक है, वो बैठे हैं, वो ठीक है, वो पढ़े चाहे ना पढ़े, हमारा तो कंसर्न नहीं है, हमने तो सर्टिफिकेट ही देना है। लेकिन प्रॉब्लम तो ये होती है, कोई ड्रॉप आउट हो जाए तो एक्सप्लेनेशन होती है, कोई ड्रॉप आउट हो जाए तो एक्सप्लेनेशन होती है। तो जो नहीं आते, एनरोल हो गए एंड डू नॉट टर्न टू द स्कूल, डू नॉट कम टू द स्कूल, तो मुझे सारा स्टाफ उसके लिए भेजना पड़ता है कि उस बच्चे को ले आइए, नहीं तो एक्सप्लेनेशन मेरी हो जाएगी कि व्हाई ड्रॉप आउट विदाउट ट्रांसफर सर्टिफिकेट। उस बच्चे से आपने क्यों नहीं पूछा कि आप कब ट्रांसफर होंगे, आपके पेरेंट्स कब यहां से जाएंगे, वो आपको पूछना चाहिए था। तो मेरा तो सारा जो ड्यूटी, जो स्टाफ है, वो सारा उस पर लगा रहता है, क्योंकि हम हिंदुस्तान में रहते हैं। अगर टीचर को प्रिंसिपल इस काम के लिए भेजेगा कि बच्चे के एनरोलमेंट का पता करके आओ कि वो क्यों नहीं आ रहा है, तो टीचर भी 2-3 दिन खुद छुट्टी मनाएगा, फिर चौथे दिन बताएगा कि भाई नहीं मिला, या मिल गया तब तो 6 दिन की छुट्टी काटेगा कि मैं 6वें दिन ले आया हूँ सर, आपको मिल गया वो बच्चा। बिकॉज वी आर इंडियन एंड वी आर शर्कर्स बेसिकली। We always think that government will come to us and government will force us to work. Why I am saying so? ऐसा एटीट्यूड नहीं होगा, सेल्फ वैल्यूड एटीट्यूड नहीं होगा, प्रो ड्यूटी एटीट्यूड नहीं होगा, then children cannot be protected. Children will not come to Jantar Mantar for dhana. Children cannot go to parliament. Children cannot go to roads. Children cannot bargain कि मुझे नहीं साहब पगार मेरी 10 रुपए नहीं, मुझे तो 20 रुपए चाहिए रोज का। He can't bargain क्योंकि उसकी तो जरूरत ही कोई नहीं है। उसको एक गलत आदत लगा दो, he would be all sold for that. He never knew that what I have been doing. So this is the result. This crime by children. Let us touch this also, because concept notes has touched also. I'll touch in spend 5 minutes more on this, and then solution part, and I hope 5-10 minutes I'll leave for question answers too. So, juvenile justice. We have a very debate in this country that why juveniles, can juveniles commit crime or not? In 2015, we have a lot of debate on this, because Delhi incident in 2012, in the winters of December 2012, there's an incident, and after that incident, we started reviewing our laws that we should not give immunity to the children up to the age of 18. Very true, they are exceptional. If their needs are not addressed, then their minds are polluted. You address their needs properly, their mind will not be polluted. They will be growing in the right perspective. If children are going in the right environment, as a teacher, me, your teacher in the faculty, your parents as a teacher, we always feel if child is not good, he has become criminal or some lawbreaker or has come in conflict with law, then either he has not got the family which was his natural right. Growing up in the family is a natural right. Either he has not got the family environment to grow, or teacher. He might not have got the teacher who can show him the future, that the future belongs to you once you make yourself capable. You stand your own legs. You acquire many skills. There was nobody to tell him. There was nobody to motivate him, to inspire him for the future. अगर ये दो लोग उसको मिल जाए, एक फैमिली और एक अपना, ये मैं अपने तजुर्बे से कह रहा हूं, और इस स्टेटमेंट को आपने एक ऑफिशियल रंग देना हो तो कह सकते हैं, एपीजे कलाम, the people's president of this country from 2002 to 2007, he also said the same thing, that the problems of this country, including the child labor, can only be solved by the parents and teachers. Others are incapable. Police can't solve this. Secretaries sitting in the secretariats, bureaus, they can't solve this. You have to involve the parents and children, the parents, and then problem might be solved. If we give the problems the solution to our children and them. Now we have POCSO. We know that there's a lot of exploitation of the children, and there is a befitting, punishment for the same. But when we are not able to stop the child marriages, which are recognized by the society. 3-4 दिन पहले भी एक करोड़पति पे एक बच्ची आई और उसने कहा कि हमारे तो ऐसा होता है. So where is the system? We have a law. बड़ा कष्ट होता है कि जो हम लॉ पढ़ते हैं और पढ़ाते हैं उसका मॉक किया जाता है. एक पब्लिक प्लेटफॉर्म पे नेशनल प्रीमियर टाइम टेलीविजन पे कहा कि हमारे इलाके में सारे जिले में गर्ल्स आर मैरिड, सो आर द बॉयज. चाइल्ड मैरिज, it is a part of society, civil society. It is a part of society which we say civilized, living in the 21st century, where we say internet is a fundamental right. बच्चों की मैरिज बचपन में हो जाती है. So where lies the solution? बातें बहुत हैं. Solution जैसे मैंने कहा, solution के लिए 2 मिनट में और लूंगा आपके. Where lies the solution? कोई बड़ी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. दिस इज नॉट ए वेरी बिग प्रॉब्लम. नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी ने थोड़ा सा ग्रिट दिखाया है, पॉलिटिकल डिटर्मिनेशन दिखाया है that we are going to spend 6% of the GDP on education and specifically on the children education. बच्चे की एजुकेशन 3 साल से शुरू कर, आंगनबाड़ी से पैसा मिलेगा और आंगनबाड़ी से ही बच्चे का टैलेंट पहचानना शुरू किया जाएगा, साइकोलॉजिस्ट के माध्यम से, काउंसलर के माध्यम से, एंड वेरी स्किल्ड पीपल वुड बी देयर. बहुत अच्छी पॉलिसी है. एजुकेशन विल स्टार्ट एट 6. पहले 2 साल उसको कुछ नहीं पढ़ाया जाएगा. उसका जो स्वामी विवेकानंद जी कहते थे that the knowledge and education is manifested by the Almighty in all human beings. भगवान ने हमें ये गुण दे दिए हैं. It is manifested within humans. हमारा काम तो सिर्फ उसको बाहर लाना है. सिस्टम का काम, चाहे वो काउंसलर है, पेरेंट्स हैं, टीचर्स हैं, इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं, गुरुस हैं, whosoever they are. So be in the new education policy. और कहा सब कुछ फ्री. लंच तो फ्री मिलता है बच्चों को, उसमें भी 100 डिस्क्रिपेंसी है, लेकिन कहा बच्चे खाना भी खाएं, ब्रेकफास्ट भी करें और उनको अच्छा ब्रेकफास्ट मिले. बड़ी अच्छी बात है. स्कॉलरशिप्स भी मिले. एवरीथिंग शुड बी गिवन. बहुत अच्छी पॉलिसी. आई विश कि इसको कल ही इंप्लीमेंट कर दिया जाए. और इसी पॉलिसी में वो बात कही है जो मैंने अपने प्रोजेक्ट में डिफाइन की थी एक्सपीरियंस के बेस पे. वही मुझे लगता है कि सॉल्यूशन है. वही मुझे लगता है सॉल्यूशन है. आप डिसएग्री करें तो आप डिसएग्री कर सकते हैं. मैंने एक उदाहरण दिया था अपने सजेशन देने के लिए. वी हैव नवोदय विद्यालयस इन दिस कंट्री. I hope few of students of your relatives or your friends might have gone through. जब मैंने प्रोजेक्ट किया था यूनिवर्सिटी ग्रांट्स कमीशन का, so I have visited many schools and schools, नवोदय schools as well for that purpose. मैं रुका भी नवोदय विद्यालय में जाके. वो रेजिडेंशियल स्कूल्स हैं. आफ्टर 5th क्लास दे आर रेजिडेंशियल स्कूल्स फॉर टीचर्स, फॉर स्टाफ एंड फॉर स्टूडेंट्स, एंड दे हैव बीन इन द रिमोट एरियाज. जगह सस्ती मिल जाती है, बच्चे बाहर जाते हैं तो घूमने जाएं, एजुकेशन पे कंसंट्रेट करें, एनवायरनमेंट अच्छा हो उनको, बट उनको सब कुछ अंदर होता है. स्पोर्ट्स फैसिलिटी and internet facility, they are given inside everything, and if they have question anytime, so schools are residential, so they can ask. principal अंदर रहते हैं, टीचर अंदर रहते हैं, बहुत अच्छा एनवायरनमेंट रहता है. मैंने पूछा स्कूल को चलाने का खर्चा कितना है? बोला 5 करोड़. कितने बच्चे पढ़ते हैं? 1500. 5 करोड़ तो कुछ भी नहीं. टीचर्स की तनख्वाह, स्टाफ की तनख्वाह, बच्चों का खर्चा इस 5 करोड़. मैंने 10 साल पहले अगर बात करें, अब वो 10 करोड़ हो गया होगा. सो सच चिल्ड्रन जो आप देखते हैं कि मार्केट्स में है, बस स्टैंड्स पर है और थिकली पॉपुलेटेड लोकेलिटीज में है, इन सारे कौन पेरेंट्स बच्चों को नहीं पढ़ाना चाहता? एवरीबडी वांट्स दैट देयर चिल्ड्रन शुड गेट द बेस्ट ऑफ द एजुकेशन. नवोदय स्कूल जो है वो सेंट्रल स्कूल से और सीबीएसई स्कूल से बेटर एजुकेशन दे रहे हैं. सो आई हैव गिवन ए सजेशन, और मुझे आज भी लगता है वो सोल्यूशन ठीक है, और न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में भी यही कहा कि नवोदय का एक्सपेरिमेंट एक्सपेंड किया जाए. एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट में एक स्कूल है, सो अराउंड 750 स्कूल्स इन दिस कंट्री, उनको 10 टाइम्स खोल दो. अगर आपका एक्सपेरिमेंट अच्छा है, बच्चों को पढ़ाना चाहते हैं पेरेंट्स, उसका एक्सपेरिमेंट अच्छा है, आप वहां बच्चे मेरिट पे लेते हैं. मेरिट पे एंट्रेंस टेस्ट होता है बिकॉज लेस नंबर ऑफ सीट्स. आप क्वालिफाइंग टेस्ट करके बच्चों को ले लीजिए एंड इंक्रीज द नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स देयर. सो बच्चे 14-15 साल तक तो शुड बी अमंग द पीयर्स, उसकी ग्रोथ हो, गेम्स, स्पोर्ट्स, फैमिली डेज मनाए जाते हैं. सैटरडे संडे को फैमिली या वहां आ जाती है या बच्चे को ले जाती है. दे एंजॉय एवरीथिंग अमंग द पीयर्स. टीचर उनके साथ हैं, और 5वीं से शुरू होते हैं. 5वीं क्लास तक वो गांव के स्कूल में पढ़ सकता है, वो लोकेलिटी के स्कूल में पढ़ सकता है. इंक्रीज द नंबर मैनी फोल्ड, 10 टाइम्स कर दो, सारे बच्चे वहां चले जाए. व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम? एंड आई टेल यू, if children grow in such an environment from class 5th to 12th class, 8th क्लास का बंधन छोड़ दो, क्योंकि 18 साल तक एजुकेशन देनी चाहिए. उनमें स्किल भी डेवलप हो जाएगी, वो एजुकेशन भी आ जाएगी, एंड दे वुड बी गुड सिविलियंस. जो हम कहते हैं कि जुवेनाइल केयर एक्ट, उसकी कम जरूरत पड़ेगी बिकॉज दे आर ग्रोइंग इन द राइट एनवायरमेंट अंडर द टीचर्स. Families coming to meet them. They have touch of the families and everything. So, इस तरह से we are able to meet the maximum needs of the children, which they have. They have a curiosity to know. They need many the good infrastructure of sports, of computers, of internet, of classrooms, and everything. They need lot of things. So provide them at one place, and one place is school, residential school. If they grow in such an environment, my dear friends, then we can do a little bit of justice to the families, to the children, to the society, and to the national services. We will be able. I have many things to say. This is something which I have shared, which I have read, written, and interacted at the various platforms, gathered the data. This is what I have been sharing with you. And if you have query, I hope teachers would take care. And if I am able to answer a few questions, I will definitely answer these questions. If I have bridged a large, कई बार टीचर पढ़ाते पढ़ाते बड़ा लंबा ब्रिज मार देता है, so आपका कोई गैप रह गया, so I am ready to fill that gap through your question. जी, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring us and for your words of wisdom. We are truly enlightened. Sir, yes, our participants have raised many questions. I would like or request you to acknowledge a few of them.
Right. I'll take, no problem.
Thank you, sir. So the first question is, why concerning about human rights, NGOs and Human Rights Commission talks about culprits human rights, but not regarding the rights of our soldiers or policemen being killed by terrorists or gangsters.
मैडम आपको दोबारा पढ़ना पड़ेगा क्यों पढ़ना पड़ेगा? थोड़ा आवाज आ रही है आपकी.
ठीक है सर. Sir, the question is, why concerning about human rights, NGO and Human Rights Commission talks about culprits human rights, but not regarding the rights of our soldiers or policemen being killed by terrorists or gangsters. Why they are so negligent, or why is this so negligent act towards soldiers and their families?
Okay, if I have understood it correctly, then it means that we are raising the human rights of the wrongdoers, and not the violation of the rights of the police and the army and the institutions, basically those who are in the institutional system. Police is an institution, army or elsewhere, there are NGOs who are working. Dear friends, we should make up our mind like this, that if we are talking about the rights, fundamental rights, human rights, and natural rights, first we should grow in an environment that everybody has rights. Everybody has rights. Now, why the preference is being given to the criminals or wrongdoers? Whosoever has asked this question is good. That we are picking the last one. We understand as a system that the police person who is empowered, who is in a position to protect his own right, government is standing with him, he is protected, and the person against whom the crime has been committed, known as a victim's welfare shall be taken by the government, by the police, and by everyone. And the mindset is like that when Mahatma Gandhi went to jail, then police people committed atrocities. When Lala Lajpat Rai visited jail, then atrocities. So we understand that when we go to jail, when we go to the police, then atrocities are committed to the individuals. Police is institution. So our mentality is like this. I can't say this is wrong mentality, because we have done at least to eliminate this from the minds of the citizen. So therefore, the class which you are saying, criminals, wrongdoers, guilty, they have human rights. They should be protected. But vis-a-vis, whose right should be preferred when there is a conflict? Criminals' right comes in conflict with the police right. Yes, individuals' right should be given preference, whether they are guilty, they are criminal, whosoever they are. If they are not getting food, yes, it is their right. If they are not getting proper ventilation, the room they are staying, yes. But saying that, making an environment in the society, projecting that the person is in jail for the welfare of society and police is criminal, this is wrong. These are wrong perceptions, because the right perception is that police is meant for the protection of society. If there is a question of safety of the society, children, women, and everyone in the society, then police does that, not individual. And individual protecting that and committing crime, this is wrong notion, because we have all institutions nowadays to visit. So we, as a student, as a citizen, and a civilian who knows law, we should support the society, and the perception should be established in the society that go to the right quarter, we will follow you. If you have problem, go to the police. As a law student, we can visit that police station and we can help. Police will prompt to help you, but don't go to the person who is not part of the system and ultimately start committing the crime, and people stand in his favor. That is not the right perspective, my dear friends. At least after 70 years, government should have been trusted by each and every countryman. Ji.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, what should be the role of family members to ensure that children's right of participation must be there and they should have liberty to express their views?
What is the role of the parents, please? What is the role of the parents?
Role of the family to ensure that children's right of participation must be there.
Children participation should be there?
Yes, sir. And they should have liberty to express their views and thoughts.
I think we are step away from this type of law. Domestic violence against children has come, and domestic violence against children may come at any time, because we need space at home. And this lockdown period, ये जो घरवास का पीरियड था, इसने हमें ये सिखाया कि thickness कम हो गई है. We have not been close to our parents, and I have referred to you. I have children. I have parents in my home. So we see we need privacies. Why we need privacies? I don't know. But children are always within the family says we need space. We need space. you are always into our lives, you need to something like this. So this is mutual understanding. This is the institution family, my dear friends. We need to understand here the weaker are protected. ये बज़वर्ड होना चाहिए मेरे जैसे पेरेंट्स के लिए भी और जो मेरे भी पेरेंट्स हैं उनके लिए. When we talk about family, family means it is a protection home for the weaker. Who is weaker? Children are weaker and the parents are weaker, female are weaker. So whosoever there are in the family. So ये concept से हमें चलना पड़ेगा. So बच्चे जो फैमिली में बात करते हैं वो ये बात ना करें कि हमें स्पेस दो, हमें प्राइवेसी चाहिए. मॉडर्न वर्ड है, इससे ऑफेंड हो जाते हैं सारे. पर ये कहें कि फैमिली शुड प्रोटेक्ट द वीकर. वीकर में फीमेल भी हो सकता है बिकॉज फिजिकली अ लिटिल बिट वीकर ड्यूरिंग सम पीरियड, और चिल्ड्रन भी हो सकते हैं, और पेरेंट्स भी हो सकते हैं, और डिसेबल्ड और स्पेशली एबल्ड भी हो सकते हैं. सो देयर टर्म कम फर्स्ट. फैमिली में भी वही है, आपके इंस्टीट्यूशन में भी वही है, आपकी क्लास में भी वही है. इफ देयर इज वन हु इज स्पेशली एबल्ड इन योर क्लास, whether you are taking care, सब चीज के लिए आप केयर नहीं कर रख सकते, but you can always say him that you first. ये हम सब करेंगे, ये परिवार है. So we have to create this type of environment, not in the name of the rights. Then we will make the things more complex. In the name of social duty, family duty as a citizen. Yes, if there are specially able children in my institution, they are everywhere. They're everywhere. So I cannot do everything to them, but at the same time, at least I can do to them that you first. Whatever you want to do, you do first. The first chair or the convenient chair is meant to you. I'll sit on the next one. No problem. So when we develop this kind of attitude, this is not rights. This is pro-liabilities. And we start understanding our liabilities, who are in position of that. और उसमें पिछला सवाल भी कवर हो जाएगा कि पुलिस भी अपनी पावर्स अपनी समझ से करे. ये नहीं कि फोन आया था मंत्री जी का इसलिए अब तो एनकाउंटर कराना ही पड़ेगा. प्रोफेशनल अंडरस्टैंडिंग, राइट? यू आर द प्रोफेशनल्स ऑफ टुमारो, और इन पुलिस, इन ब्यूरोक्रेसी एंड एवरीवेयर टेक ए प्रोफेशनल डिसीजन which is depending upon humanity, whether this action need to be taken under the circumstances or not. It is not dictated to me. I am taking this action. So therefore, it is prone, and I think value-based education, of which the national education policy is talking about, it may happen. I'm very hopeful about this. Ji.
Sir, the next question is, despite having legislations which prohibit child labor, there are about 12.5 million child laborers in India. About 10% of these children work in hazardous industries. Why are these laws not enforced? What are the factors which make these laws vulnerable?
The best question is being asked, because in this question I would be able to specifically answer this. Whose liability the children are? Family can ask this, society can ask this, but government cannot ask this. Responsibility of the system. First duty of the state is to look after its children. All your legislations would be successful, my dear friends, when government takes responsibility. If children are to be sent to the school up to the age of 18, it means they are to be sent. Have this thing in your mind and you have the answer. Nobody can take care. Each family is distorted, was the distorted version earlier also, and it has distorted the things. नहीं प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो सकती. गवर्नमेंट हैज टू शो द डिटर्मिनेशन दैट वी मीन बिजनेस. और उसमें जो नौकरी करने वाले लोग लगाएंगे, जैसे नवोदय विद्यालय में लगाएंगे, दे हैव अ ड्यूटी. दे आर ह्यूमन बीइंग्स. दे शुड फील ब्लेस्ड, शुड सीक एन अपॉर्चुनिटी that we are making the future of this country. लेजिस्लेशन इस तरह सक्सेसफुल होंगे गवर्नमेंट के डिटर्मिनेशन पे। सिंगल लाइन आंसर। फेलियर के कारण क्या है वो मैं अपने एक्सपीरियंस से आपको बताता हूं। I am living in Chandigarh. Chandigarh is the best administered union territory because it is small. It is 10 kilometers this side and 10 kilometers this side. It's 10 by 10 city. Around 10 lakh people lives here, and most of them are employees. Less slums, less deprivation, good city. When I was doing project in 2010, then the best thing which was done by the Chandigarh administration that the child labor inspectors are there in the department. पावर मैं फेलियर के कारण आपको बता रहा हूं, इसलिए मैं उदाहरण दे रहा हूं कि फेलियर के कारण है ये। चाइल्ड इंस्पेक्टर पावर वाज गिवन टू द प्रिंसिपल्स कि प्रिंसिपल सैटरडे संडे को एक बस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन दे देता है, शहर में घूमते हैं, कहीं ढाबे पे, कहीं कैंटीन में। if there is a child labor, so immediately that is being given to the police and say that under the child prohibition act, child labor prohibition act 1986 एकदम चलान काटिए और इसका वो करिए, ट्रायल करिए, फाइन होगा, सब कुछ होगा। एक दिन मैं भी चला गया। मैं तो रिसर्चर हूं, आपकी तरह एक स्टूडेंट हूं, क्यूरियोसिटी बहुत है जानने की। लेट अस सी हाउ द लॉ इज हैपनिंग। आपने फेलियर के कारण पूछे। दुकान में गए, बच्चा पकड़ा, मिठाई तोल रहा था, पकड़ लिया। एज कितनी है? वो ट्यूटर्ड है, उनको पता है कि इंस्पेक्शन होती है, वो ट्यूटर्ड है। कितने साल उम्र है? 15 साल। उनको पता 14 तक चलान होता है, इसलिए 15 बता दो पहले। दूसरी दुकान में गए और उसमें मेडिकल भी हमारे साथ हेल्प होती थी, तो मेडिकल हेल्प लेके उसकी 14 से कम निकल आई, चलान हो गया। दूसरी दुकान में गए, कितनी साल क्या कर रहे हो इधर, कितने साल उम्र है? मैं मिठाई लेने आया हूं, मैं लेने आया हूं, मैं विजिटर हूं, आई एम नॉट वर्किंग हियर। एनीवे दैट इज आल्सो एस्टैब्लिश्ड, चलान कर दिए। सो एज ए स्टूडेंट, एज ए रिसर्चर, आई स्टार्टेड फॉलोइंग दोज केसेस दैट व्हाट विल हैपन टू दोज केसेस। सो मैं था, मुझे शहर में कई लोग जानते थे, दे स्टार्टेड विजिटिंग माय हाउस कि साहब पुलिस से बचाओ, कैसे ना कैसे कोई रास्ता बताओ, आप तो लॉ के प्रोफेसर भी हो। आई वाज जस्ट कलेक्टिंग द डाटा and after 2 years I followed the trial of both the children, जो 2 साल में और 2.25 साल में दोनों डिसाइड हो गए। उसमें से क्या निकला? 25,000 की जगह एक जगह फाइन हुआ 1,500 1500 रुपए, और एक जगह फाइन हुआ 2,500, और वो जहां से पकड़े थे बड़ी अच्छी दुकानें थी। सो हु इज जज? मैं और आप जज हैं। Who was lawyer there? मैं और आप लॉयर हैं। Who were NGOs who were involved in that? मैं और आप हैं। ये सोसाइटी है, इसलिए हमें स्ट्रक्चर सुधारना पड़ेगा। बच्चे आपकी कैंटीन में भी काम करते हैं, लेकिन यू कांट टेक देम होम। यू हैव कंपैशन फॉर देम। आप चाहते हैं यू डू समथिंग फॉर देम, पर आप कर नहीं सकते, यू कांट डू। लेकिन एक सिस्टम है दैट यस, इफ चाइल्ड इज टेकन फ्रॉम दिस प्लेस, this is a residential place for the child where teachers, psychologists, everybody is available, then yes, ये संभव है। This is possible, my dear friends. Our state has grown. They can spend on children. They can spend. Government can spend on children. There is no problem in this. What is required is that the political priorities and political determination, जो कि मैं कह रहा हूं कि प्रेजेंट गवर्नमेंट ने, आई डोंट नो फ्रॉम वेयर दे गैदर दिस डिटर्मिनेशन, बट दे से 6% of the GDP is to be spent on children and specifically on school children, preschooling. This is the solution. This is the solution. Basically, start making this residential schools and you have answer for everything. फिर आप सब लोग वर्कर हो जाएंगे, एक्टिविस्ट हो जाएंगे, एनजीओ की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। एवरीबॉडी इज एनजीओ। हर जगह आपको बच्चा मिल जाता है, बस में मिल जाता है, कैंटीन में मिल जाता है, दुकान में मिल जाता है। आपको पता है that in this sector there is a school and there is residential school and you take the child there. ये कौन खड़ा कर सकता है? ये सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट खड़ा कर सकती है। This is expected from the government. So you name any crime by the child, against the child, उसका आंसर दोस्तों एक है, that government has to stand up, government has to take responsibility. एनजीओ के सहारे नहीं छोड़ सकते, परिवारों के सहारे नहीं छोड़ सकते, समाज के सहारे नहीं छोड़ सकते. इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज सिस्टम हैज टू बी टेकन बाय द गवर्नमेंट. ये गवर्नमेंट की फर्स्ट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होनी चाहिए. यस, फौज रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, बहुत जरूरी है, देश बचेगा तो सब बचेगा, लेकिन उसके बाद बच्चों की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है. चिल्ड्रन आर टू बी टेकन केयर ऑफ. सिस्टम हैज टू रिस्पॉन्ड बाय प्रोवाइडिंग रेजिडेंशियल स्कूल्स up to 8th class and 8th to 12th class. Once this is being done professionally, then I hope the problem is taken head on and we are able to solve this. यही मुझे solution लगता है. और फेलियर के कारण मैंने आपको बता दिए कि सब लोग क्या हैं, सब लोग हताश हैं, निराश हैं. क्या करें, बच्चा है, कहां ले जाएं, कहां लेके जाएं, ये आंसर का इस आंसर नहीं है किसी का. Nobody has the answer. Therefore, they continue to employ, they continue to bargain, they continue to engage lawyers. हम वकील हैं, हमें भी केस चाहिए. So everything. और हमारे पास तो रॉन्ग डूअर ही आएगा, पहले तो रॉन्ग डूअर ही आएगा हमारे पास. So ये, और हम उसी को बचाने में लग जाते हैं. So ये सारा सिस्टम ऐसा है. पर चिल्ड्रन की प्रॉब्लम तो ऐसे ही सॉल्व होगी once state makes this institutionalized system. जी.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of Geeta Rattan International Business School, I would like to extend my gratitude towards your humble acceptance for joining us and enlightening us and our students with your precious experiences. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.